This is a lasagna that I made from scratch. I'm going to show you how I made it, from the fresh pasta to the sauces, and hopefully teach you a little math along the way. To make fresh pasta, you need 2 parts flour and 1 part egg. I'm using 20 ounces flour and 10 ounces egg. I start by pouring all of my flour out onto a clean surface and making a well to store our eggs. You can measure with the bowl and then pour your eggs out, break them up, and start mixing. Keep whisking with your fork until it gets to a thick enough texture that you can start kneading the dough with your hands. As you're kneading, you might notice that your dough just isn't coming together. You can see mine got a little too wet, so I had to add some flour and keep kneading. If you mess up measurements, it's fine. Just keep going, adjusting as you go, and soon enough, you will get it to the right texture. Once yours rises slightly after being pressed, you know it's ready for some oil. I'm using olive oil, pouring a little dollop on my surface, and then kneading for a few minutes longer. Once the oil is fully incorporated, as you can see here, you can cut it up if necessary, wrap it in press and seal, and then put it in the fridge to rest overnight and develop flavor. Making a bolognese requires a lot of different prep work. As you can see, I'm doing it right now. And I thought instead of just showing you all of that, I should actually make this somewhat math related and teach you a technique I use when I'm doing recipes in baking and cooking. Alright, when I'm cooking, I don't like pulling up a calculator every time I want to double a recipe or cut a recipe's measurements in half. So there's an easy trick I learned that you can do too, and then finish the recipes easier. So when you're trying to only cook half of what a recipe suggesting, and you have 1/3 cup of an ingredient, all you have to do is multiply the top and multiply the bottom. So 1 times 1 is 1, and then 3 times 2 is 6. What you're looking for is 1/2 of 1/3. And you can also do this with whole numbers, like you have 3/4 times 2. You can divide the 2 by 1, turn it into a fraction, and then just multiply both sides. So you have 3 times 2 equals 6, and 4 times 1 equals 4. And then this can be simplified. These equal each other, and then it can also be 1/2/4, which simplifies down to 1/2. So 3/4 times 2 also equals 1/2, also equals 6/4. And then if you want to do it with these mixed fractions, there's another trick you can use to simplify them down to an improper fraction. You can do 2 times 2 plus 1. This 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So it would end up 5/2. And then times 3, which, as I said, turns into a fraction, 3/1, which still equals 3. And then what we do is we just multiply. So it'd be 15 divided by, or over 2. And yeah, that's the easy trick. Now back to cooking. Alright, we're on to our bolognese. And first I'm going to add the mirepoix vegetables with a little olive oil. Mirepoix is onions, celery, and carrots. Now I've already fully sliced and diced the stuff, as you saw when I was demonstrating multiplying fractions. So you're going to simmer this down, cook it down with the pancetta for about 8 minutes. And once it's ready, you take it out. And then you add some more oil into the same pot. You don't have to clean it. and then add your meat. And the meat is going to be ground beef, ground veal, and ground pork. So you put it all in with a spatula, just stab it, keep mixing it up, get it to a nice consistency. Then once it's cooked and brown, you can add back your cooked vegetables along with diced garlic. And then you cook those all down together till it gets to this point. Everything's mixed in with each other. And then I have some tomato juice that I saved from the canned tomatoes earlier. I'm putting that through a strainer to get out the seeds. You just kind of keep pressing it down and pressing it down until all of the tomato juice gets through. So what we have left to add in is we need a bay leaf and a little bit of thyme. You also add some salt and black pepper. Stir it up, turn it up to high heat, wait for it to boil. Once it's boiling, you're going to want to reduce the heat to low and then cover it partially with the lid. And now we're going to let this cook for around an hour. After an hour simmering, this is how the bolognese looks. The first thing we have to do is remove the bay leaf because it's not edible. And you can just go and throw that away. Next, I'm going to add 1/4 cup heavy cream, pour it in, and stir it around. And once this has been stirred and simmered a little longer, our bolognese sauce is officially done. That's the final look at it. Pasta has been sitting overnight developing flavor, and now it's time to roll it out. I have this 1970s pasta machine that my grandmother gave me that I'm using for this. But if you don't have a pasta machine, you can easily replace it with a knife and a rolling pin. I'm going to roll it out real nice and thin into these long sheets to make sure it doesn't undercook. Alright, we're finally done with the pasta. I made quite a little bit. We have all of this, and I might have gone a little extra because it's on all of the chairs too. I'm trying to feed one teacher. One teacher! Oh my goodness. Typically for lasagna, we use a bechamel sauce, which has no cheese. But I prefer making my own cheese stuffing, and that's a ricotta base with an Italian cheese blend, Parmesan, provolone, and mozzarella. Stir it all up. Then I add a few herbs and cracked black pepper. I'm adding thyme, rosemary, and parsley. And then after, I stir in some Parmesan and it's done. After 6 hours cooking, I finally made it. All of the sauces and pasta's ready. I'm going to layer up the lasagna with lots of thin layers. I'm going to do pasta sauce, pasta cheese, pasta sauce, pasta cheese. And then I'm going to wrap it in aluminum foil to protect it. You're going to cook this for around 25 minutes on 375. After that, take the aluminum foil off, crank your oven up to broil to crisp it up. Here's it before, and here's the gorgeous lasagna, fully cooked and ready to eat.